Well, it's been a very long time coming, but this is going to be Volkswagen's first electric vehicle in Australia. It's called the Volkswagen ID.4, and the example you see here is one of just a handful that's been shipped over to kick off the brand's EV campaign down under. But although it's just been road registered for Australia, we can't drive it just yet. So we'll have to stay indoors today to take you on a quick close-up look at the new ID.4. Already on sale in Europe, the ID.4 is a mid-size electric SUV that the brand is pushing hard to have on sale here in Australia by late 2023, alongside its swoopy coupe-style SUV sibling called the ID.5. We expect it to start from around $60,000, however pricing and local specifications are yet to be announced. But that hasn't stopped the German car maker from making bold claims that it'll overtake EV giant Tesla to become the world's largest zero-emissions car maker by 2025. Tipping the scales at well over 2 tonnes, Volkswagen says this version of the ID.4 will hit 100 kilometres an hour from a standstill in 8.5 seconds. Although Volkswagen is yet to confirm local trim grades for its ID.4 range, this version is sold as the 150 kilowatt Pro Performance model overseas, and so it gets the larger of 2 battery options. It's powered by a single rear-mounted electric motor paired to a 77 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery, which Volkswagen says should cover a distance of more than 520 kilometres between charges. Although there's one small caveat to that generous driving range, and what you gain in distance, you lose in performance. And it seems that just like its US rival, Volkswagen has taken a pretty modest design approach to its ID range. That said, there are some pretty high-tech features on the ID.4, including these new tail lamps that have LEDs stacked into them, and these fixed flush-mounted door handles that have a button on the underside of them to electronically unlatch the door. You'll also notice really short overhangs at either end, so while this EV is comparable in size to the Tiguan SUV, in fact it's a little bit wider and longer, it's got a huge wheelbase, so there's lots of space inside the cabin. In the cabin, those generous proportions we mentioned earlier are immediately obvious, and that's mostly thanks to this car's proper EV MEB underpinnings. It feels super spacious in here, particularly in the second row, which we'll get to in just a sec. But first, I wanted to show you some of the cool features up front, including these play and pause symbols down on the pedals, these velour-clad seats with stowable armrests up front, and this quirky gear selector which extends from the instrument cluster. And while it's a great use of space, it feels a bit hidden behind the steering wheel. Elsewhere, this is a huge touchscreen, 12 inches, and it's really clear and seems to have great graphics, as does the smaller instrument cluster, which, although is quite miniature in size, looks to give you pretty good information. As expected, there's loads of space in the second row. Because there's no transmission tunnel, you can go 3 adults wide pretty comfortably. There's loads of headroom, legroom is great, and there's plenty of passenger amenities, including USB-C ports, air vents, a centre armrest with cup holders, and outboard ISOFIX child seat anchorage points. Boot space is very generous, rated at 543 litres, but you don't get a spare wheel, only a tyre repair kit. Volkswagen is set to reveal more details about its incoming electric ID.4 SUV in the coming months, including local pricing and specifications. So make sure you stay tuned to Car Sales for everything you ought to know. And thanks for coming with us for a first look at Volkswagen's first EV.